Sound right?
So we're about a daf and a half behind everybody else. So maybe other people also together with us. I don't know if everybody's on schedule. But yesterday,
Yeah.
we had started the sugya about a cholos liyevimto, and we'll put on the screen again the diagram maybe to help, and that'll go into the sugya. A cholos liyevimto because of a kid. That's the subject. Machlokes Reish Lakish and Rabbi Yochanan. Reish Lakish is more machmir. Just to get the diagram on, if that'll be helpful. We said the such thing as chalitza. That's back to the Torah. Chalitza means that if he doesn't want to do yibum, so then he does whatever it's going to be, the details of how to do chalitza, and then she becomes free, and she can marry anybody. What if he marries her after he does chalitza? So he's not supposed to. He shouldn't have married her. It says even once he decided not to, so then he's not supposed to. He can't do it anymore. But that everyone holds is only a lav. So here you have the brother. His wife, he died. His wife, they did a chalitza. This kind of zigzag is a simon for chalitza, and then he should not have married her, but he did. But that's not chayiv koros. You might have thought that it's koros because it's back to a brother's wife without a mitzvah. You might have thought it's koros. No, the Torah says it's only a lav. But then that's called chotzav v'kish. And then the question was, but how about not him to the chalutza, not the cholates to the chalutza, but how about the brother? Another brother would have relations with the taker, or if the brother or he would take the tzara. And also, there's no yibum, so the chorus are back to chorus or not. So that's a machlokes. I'm sorry, 1 second, please. Okay, please. Okay, I'm on the phone. I can't call you now. Okay. Someone called. I'm sorry. Someone called for an emergency call. If I can stop to share a second, I'll try. I'm sorry. I'll come back again. Well, I'll leave it on just to stop the recording temporarily. Where are we holding? Right, so we're back on to the case of Chalutza, and after we did the Chalitza, so then he's not supposed to marry her anymore. If he does, so Chai B'Lav. It's not, it takes down the chorus, it's only a lav. Yeah. And that was as far as the one who did Chalitza to the one who did Chalitza too, that's only a lav, and it's a Chiddush that it goes down from chorus to a regular lav. It's also usher, but it's not chorus. Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish have machlokes about the another brother, if he would marry her. Maybe it's chorus. Rabbi Reish Lakish holds that's chorus. Reish Lakish holds only that man to that woman went down to a lav, but another brother or the tzara, another wife, the co-wife, is chorus. The other wife would be chorus for everybody, and that woman that he did chalitza to, that would be chorus for the other brother. Reish Lakish holds is only limited to the one who did chalitza, to the one who got chalitza. That's where it's a lav. The rest of it stays a chorus. Rabbi Yochanan says it's all the same. Everyone goes down to a lav. The one who did chalitza, the cholates to the chalutza, and the brother also to the chalutza, or the tzara, the brother to the tzara. Everything went down to a lav. That's as far as we went, and we'll see it inside. Now just to see the Gemara, then we'll continue.
Even with a lav, he shouldn't marry.
Yeah, lav he's not allowed to, but it's a losa say it's not chorus. There's a difference if it's losa say it's a chorus. There's a co-wife. These are the co-wife.
So that's the classic Yevamos Lota say. That's the classic simplest case.
No.
Because it's 2 or 3 brothers, and then one dies, and the others fine.
There was a chalitza over here. The point of the Gemara is that there was a chalitza. Once there's a chalitza, everyone should say goodbye and go on their way.
That changes everything.
He decided after chalitza he had second thoughts, and he married her. So that's a chiddush. That it's only a lav. It should have been chorus because it's a eisha sachav shalom makom mitzvah. So it's a chiddush. It's only a lav. But that's as far as the one of the chalitza. What?
We learned that from a pasuk.
So now we're going to go into the my time and now we're going to see the reason for it. But that's just a chart before we get into the Gemara.
Okay.
Here goes the Gemara. So here's the case of cholos liyevimto. This is the case of cholos liyevimto because of a kitcha. Someone gave chalitza and then he married her. So what is that? So Reish Lakish says that the cholates to the chalutza is only a lav, but everybody else is going to be chorus. Reish Lakish, who that person who did chalitza in chayiv al chalutza chorus. He and the chalutza means that he married her, the one that he gave chalitza to. That's not chorus. That's only a lav. But everything else is chorus. So achin chayav al chalutza chorus. the other brothers who would marry the chalutza would be chayiv kares because it's a regular eisha sachiv shalom b'makom mitzvah. That's a brother's wife without a mitzvah of yibum. Only by him the Torah took it down to Allah, but the rest of them it remains kares. And also the tzara, the co-wife, ala tzara, everyone's chayiv kares. Beinu beinachim chayav ala tzara kares because the Torah didn't take it down over there. The Torah only took it down by the chol. It's the chalutza that is only allowed.
What's
the
the
pink is
purple?
like
What's the purple mean?
That's Rish Lakish. And Rabbi Yochanan is more lenient. That's why it's green. I don't have so many colors to work with. So
Yeah.
Rabbi Yochanan Amar Beinu Achen En Chayav and Lo Ala Chalutza Kares Lo Ala Tzara Kares. Not him, not the brothers are not chayiv. Not for the woman that cut chalitza, and not for the tzaras. There's no kares at all. Everything goes down. Just like for the cholit. So the chalitza went down. What?
Look,
They're not allowed to. It's a lav. It's a asur, but it's not correct.
It's not correct.
It's not correct. Everyone knows it's asur, but it goes down from
Because we make
kares.
chalitza.
Chalitza, so now since the chalitza, now everything goes down to a lav. My time to Rish Lakish. What's the Rish Lakish? What's the reason? Now the Gemara goes into the reason. It says. So there's a drash that he's not going to build. He's not going to build. What does it mean? That since he decided not to build, he shouldn't build anymore. Since he decided not to build his brother's house, which means he gave chalitza, no more. So there's a lo saseh. So the fact that the Torah says don't do it, that's all it is. It's only a lo saseh, but it takes off the chorus. It's not correct of a regular case of marrying a brother's wife. Marrying a brother's wife is a chorus. But here the Torah says don't do it. So don't do it. Takes it down only to Allah. But Rish Lakish says only that particular one, the man, to that woman, that's where it's only Allah. But everybody else involved will be chorus. He's the one who said he didn't do it, so he's not allowed to do it anymore. But everybody else, the brothers, that they didn't do anything, so they're a regular case of chayiv chorus, that it's a brother's wife, not for a mitzvah of yibum, so it's chorus. And also, Allah didahu dekoy below yivna. Only on that woman, the woman that I gave chalitza to there, the Torah says lo taseh. But Sarah could the kaimi. But the rest of the wives, that's the regular law of chayiv chorus. So Rish Lakish says that the lo saseh, that it took it down from chorus, the lo saseh is only for that particular man and woman. Everybody else is chorus. Rabbi Yochanan says it can't. Rabbi Yochanan says me committed to become high chalitz. He says it doesn't make sense that it should be that originally. Everyone had a choice. Any of the brothers could have done chalitza. Not only that one that did the chalitza. There are many brothers. Anyone could have done chalitza. Yes. Usually the way you do it is that one brother, of all the brothers, one brother does chalitza to one of the wives, and that's all. No more brothers, no more. So if originally anybody could have done it, so and he could have done it to any one of the wives, so there's no reason why only that one should go down and nobody else should go down. So he says, Ella iu shlichusa da'achim kavid, shlichusa d'tzar kavda. That he, the one who did chalitza, is a shliach for all the brothers, and she, the one who received the chalitza, is a shliach for all of the co-wives, and therefore the same way it went down for them, went down for everybody. So that's the machlokus. We had a machlokus again, just to sum it up. Let's look at the. We'll also go into the next chart, so we'll put it on already. This is the case of the machlokus that you have there's a brother that died. He has two wives. One of the brothers did chalitza to one of the wives, the way he's supposed to. But now, if he's going to marry her, it's going to be allowed. Everyone agrees to that. But Rish Lakish holds that anybody else involved, if the brother will marry her or the co-wife, and the brother would marry the co-wife, would be chorus. Only this went down to allowed. And Rabbi Yochanan says that everything goes down. He is a shliach for all the brothers. She is a shliach for all the wives. And the same way they went down to allowed, everyone goes down to allowed.
Do they force them to get a divorce if they're married?
I'm just trying to keep it onto the subject. Now the Gemara continues. There's going to be a brisa. Here's a case. A man, you have three brothers over here. He had a wife. He died. The brother did chalitza, and he married her.
Oh,
and he married her.
He remarried her, right?
And he wasn't supposed to. And that was allowed. Here allowed happened, but he married her. But then he died, and he doesn't have children either. He doesn't have children. So now there's a third brother over there. Is he supposed to do chalitza?
No.
Why not?
Because it was a lav. So he can
Allah is not a reason not to do chalitza. Allah is a reason not to do yibum, but it's not a reason not to do chalitza. The 15 women in the first Mishnah are all chayv kares. A chayv kares is something which is so stringent that it's chayv kares to have that union. That's where it knocks off the yibum. But this is. What is this?
He shouldn't have, but it was a good marriage. So then he should do.
Right. So he should
do chalitza, but because of a lav, he shouldn't marry her.
But why are you saying there's only a lav? Maybe it's kares.
According to.
We exactly. You don't need to be part of everybody.
No, but he died.
No, I think. but-
Yes, no, you're right. As far as the first marriage, that's taken care of. But now he died. He married her,
Right.
and he died.
But
So now there should have to be now chalitza because of his death. The first, this brother died and had a wife, and then did the chalitza, so that's taken care of. But then he married her, and then he died. So the question is, she's falling to him not because of the first brother. She's falling to chalitza. She's falling to the brother because this brother died.
I thought once he did chalitza, then that's.
זה פותר את כל האחים מחליצה.
Yes, but he married her then.
First time.
I know that.
No, so that's so why? So he's not again. He married her. So now he married her.
Bring it back to chalitza.
Now he died. So now what is the relationship of this man to this woman?
I don't see why he can't marry as a yibum.
It's a love.
It's at least a love. It's at least a love. Maybe it's even going to be chorus. Oh, this is the machlokes case. Is this reunion? Is this chorus or is this a love? Right? That's what he just said. Look up a second. It's the same case.
Right.
So this is the case. So if it's a chiv chorus, so then there's no yibum, like the whole 15 cases in the Mishnah. And if it's only a love, if it's so the Gemara is going to say now. So this case should be machlokes of Yochanan and Rish if there's yibum or not. If there's chalitza.
If there's
And
chalitza.
if it's a love, then he would have to get.
Then there's chalitza. It stops the yibum, but it doesn't stop the chalitza. That means there's really a real.
To marry her for sure.
I shouldn't marry her, but is there a chalitza? If it's a chiv chorus, then there's no chalitza either. Goodbye. There's no relationship. So surprising. The Brisa says that he does have to do chalitza. That seems to be a right to Rabbi Yochanan.
Seems to be.
Right.
We continue. How about this case? Three brothers.
In this case, it's also is the makel, not the mach.
Yeah, in all cases, Rabbi Yochanan says it's a lot. Rish Lakish says it's chorus. In this case, what's this case? Three brothers. One of them married,
But the different one married.
and he died.
Mhm.
And he did one of them with the chalitza. He did fine. But then another brother married her. What is that?
What happened there?
So Rabbi Yochanan said that
That's
he did
an
chalitza for all of them,
So
and that's a love.
this is a machlokes case. Is it a law? That's machlokes. It's a law of chorus, not machlokes, right?
So Rabbi Yochanan says it's a love.
Right. And Rish Lakish says that's chorus.
It's chorus.
Is there any kedushin? Is kedushin tofes? If someone married her, does it take effect or not? So in general, we say that chayve chorus, the union, which is chayv chorus, if someone did kedushin, it's nothing. It's a batala, it's a garnish. It's nothing. But if someone chayve lavin, if it's live lavin, then even though we're not supposed to do it, but it does take effect.
Yeah.
And the Bryce here is going to say that it does not take effect.
Now this is right for.
That sounds like Rish Lakish.
It's going to say that what?
It's that the marriage. It says the marriage doesn't take effect. That's another way of saying.
Yeah, so that's
And no, according to Rabbi Yochanan, it should take effect. According to Rish Lakish, so the Bryce is going to say both of these cases, and one is
Bryce.
it's a Bryce that's going to say. We'll see in a second. It's going to be a Bryce. It's going to say both of these cases. Chosav v'kid shel meis. It's going to say that there is a necessity for chalitza. And this case, where one of the other brothers married her, is going to say that nothing takes effect. And the Gemara is going to say the Reish is like Rabbi Yochanan and the Sefer is like Rish Lakish. That's going to be an introduction to the Gemara. Here goes the Gemara.
That's starting with Esvei.
Esvei, where is that? Esvei. First one on the line is Esvei. Esvei, Rabbi Yochanan, Rish Lakish. The blue is the Brisa, but we're going to interrupt as we go along to analyze it. Esvei, Rabbi Yochanan, Rish Lakish, Rabbi Yochanan, Rish Lakish from the Reisha. It says Achol Nisli Vimto V'Chozav V'Kid Shel Meis. One of the brothers did chalitza to his sister-in-law that he's supposed to, but then he married her, but she was not supposed to, and then he died. So it says shvicha chalitza menachan. She does eat chalitza. That means that's like Rabbi Yochanan. That it's only a love. According to me, it's good that this is a relationship of a love. So you need chalitza because it's not chayv chorus. So it's only a love. So therefore, there is a necessity to do something. You don't do yibum, but you do chalitza. That makes sense. You need a chalitza menachin. When Jewish Lakish hold that it's chayv kores, so then it shouldn't have any relationship. Amai tzricha chalitza. Kasha from the Reisha, a kasha to Rish Lakish. The Reisha sounds like Rabbi Yochanan that it's chayv lavin. So then the Gemara answers back to Rabbi Yochanan is good. Ema Sefer, read on to the Sefer. The Sefer seems to contradict that. It says, if one person did chalitza and the other one did kedushin, that's the bottom of the diagram over there, number 5. So it says there's nothing. It's not a marriage. There's no connection. It didn't take effect at all. According to you, it should have taken effect. According to you, that it's only a love, so the kedushin does take effect. As Rashi calls this, the Gemara is going to say right away, this is called tfisus kedushin. Ain't kedushin tovsin b'chayve krisis, but kedushin ain't kedushin tovsin b'chayve krisis. Kedushin doesn't take effect but by a love, it does take effect. So the Gemara answers, so Rabbi Yochanan, you can get through bedochak, you can get through. Even though we hold that Kedushin does take effect if it's only a Chai Ve'Lavin, Rabbi Kiva, he's one opinion that holds that Kedushin does not take effect even by Chai Ve'Lavin. Even if it's only a Lav, also Kedushin does not take effect. So B'dochak, you can get through the Brisa that everything, both of them hold that it's a Lav. Let's go on to
That both of them hold that it's a
the Reisha and the Sefer both mean that it's only a Lav like a Yochanan. And that's why in the Reisha, it's necessary to do Chalitza because it's only a Chai Ve'Lavin. You have to break it. There's something happening over there. And the Sefer that says that the marriage of another brother is not, it does not take effect. Rabbi Kiva's talking. It means really the machlokus would be is Kedushin is this the Sefer Rabbi Kiva's talking, and he holds that Chai Ve'Lavin Kedushin is not Tofes.
If it's not Tofes, then you wouldn't do Chalitza.
You want to say that in the first case also, even though it's a Chai Ve'Lavin also, it shouldn't be necessary to be. It could be that's what it's saying, that the ratio goes according to the Rabbanan and the Sefer is Rabbi Kiva. The Sefer is only going to be Rabbi Kiva maybe. And the ratio is going to, you're right, it could be that according, I think you're right.
It was about Rabbi Yochanan, wouldn't
The Kasha says, how's Rabbi Yochanan learn this Brisa? So the Gemara could learn, Rabbi Yochanan could learn that the ratio goes according to Rabbanan and Rabbi Kiva, and the Sefer goes according to Rabbi Kiva.
What are their shittas?
It's Kedushin Tofes and Chai Ve'Lavin. And like Yaakov is saying, if it's not Tofes and Chai Ve'Lavin, then also there shouldn't be a necessity to do Yibum also.
Right.
So probably you're right. And that's what the Gemara is saying. It shouldn't be the need Chalitza. So the Gemara is saying the ratio is Rabbanan, the Rabbi Kiva, and the Sefer is Rabbi Kiva. There could be the Machlokes within the Brisa, but everyone knows that it's a Chai Ve'Lavin. They're not arguing if it's a Lav or not. Rabbi Yochanan says everybody holds like me, that it's only a Lav and not Kares. But the Machlokes is Kedushin Tofes by Chai Ve'Lavin or not. But Rish Lakish can't get through it because the ratio doesn't make sense according to Rish Lakish because it's Chayv Kares. Chayv Kares, everybody holds that there should not be a necessity for Chalitza.
Yeah.
Let's see the Gemara inside. Rav Shesha says the Sefer goes according to Rabbi Kiva that says Kedushin is not Tofes b'Chayv Ve'Lavin. But the Gemara doesn't like this so much. It should have said, listen, L'Divrei Rabbi Kiva, Ein Lo Alav Klum. It should have said that according to Rabbi Kiva, it should have spoken it out, that according to Rabbi Kiva, there's nothing. It doesn't say according to Rabbi Kiva. So the Gemara says Kasha. That is difficult. It's a dochak. So the Gemara now is going to look for something else to explain the Brisa. It means everybody's stuck now, that the Reisha sounds like it's a Lav, the Sefer sounds like it's Kares. How do you reconcile the Brisa? It means everybody's stuck. Rabbi Yochanan is stuck from the Sefer, Rish Lakish is stuck from the Reisha. How can you reconcile the Brisa? So the Gemara is going to do a fancy footwork and bring in what we had a machlokes about Eisha Sachav Shelo Haya Ba'alomo. Let's look at it again and just see what we could do with that. We had halachos about a brother that didn't live at the same time as the dead brother, right? And we also had Rab Shimon that says that if when he was born, he came into the world when things happened since then, that when he came into the world, he didn't meet the widow as a widow. He met her as a wife of somebody else. So according to Rab Shimon, you erase, you delete the history and just see what he came in when he came into the world. If he came into the world and she was a widow of the dead brother, so then there's no yibum because Eishach Shloi B'Lamo. If he came into the world when some things have happened already, and since then she married, so then he just looks at her as the way he came into the world. So let's say this brother here, let's say the case over here.
He wasn't born.
He was born after all this happened. One brother died, and he did chalitza, and then he married her. Right. So when he comes into the world, Rabbi Shimon will say that we just see him as seeing her as being the wife of this brother.
Yeah.
And there'll be yibum, not yibum, only chalitza. Why is that? Why is it only chalitza? Why is it not yibum? I didn't think into that. How come? It's going to say that he does see her as being the brother of his wife, the wife of his brother, this second brother that he did live with her, and you delete the past history. But for some reason, it's not going to do yibum. I didn't think about that. Okay, and that's going to be the Gemara's trick is going to be that the Eisha Zachar Shloi B'Lamo according to Rabbi Shimon, according to Rabbanan, the Rabbanan do not delete the history. So they're going to consider this. They won't be yibum either. No chalitza either because it's Eisha Zachar Shloi B'Lamo. He doesn't delete the history, so this is Eisha Zachar Shloi B'Lamo. That's what the Gemara is going to utilize in order to answer the Brisa. One case of the Brisa is going to be that the brother was born after the marriage, and one case is going to be here that the brother was born before the marriage. Before the marriage. Or this case here is not okay. But what this machlok is. Let's see how the Gemara words it. Top line: Rav Ashi Zavalak Rish Lakish. Rav Ashi holds like Rish Lakish, and the ratio of the Brisa is going to be the problem. He's going to have to answer the beginning, the part where it says that there is chalitza. The kasha should be that she no chalitza zachiv kares, and he's going to answer it. And Mutaz like Rabbi Shimon, he's going to bring Rabbi Shimon into the picture in to explain the brisa. Ravina Savlak Rabbi Yochanan, he's going to have to answer the brisa. He's going to have to answer the Resha. He's going to have to answer the Sefer according to Rabbanan and Rabbi Shimon. How does that go? Not the Gemara explains. The Gemara didn't explain it. Not the Gemara starts explaining. And therefore, what's he going to say? He's going to explain the brisa like Rabbi Shimon. That's the words of the brisa. That was difficult to find the Rish Lakish. That if one person did chalitza and then he married her and then he died, she needs chalitza. Why should she need chalitza? It's a chayiv karos over there, so there's no chalitza. The answer is man achin hayi lodim keman Reb Shimon. That is one of the brothers that was born after this whole story happened. This last brother, the third brother, was born after the second brother had done chalitza and kedushin. So when he came into the world, it's already a matzav of kedushin. So then there is a connection, because you don't look at the history that says then the end of the brisa that says which brother was over there? The brother that married her in the sefer where it says that one brother did chalitza, then another brother did kedushin. Why do we say over there that it's nothing? Because it was a brother who was born already. That's not that in the sefer. Let's put it on a second.
Yiludim means that he was already born.
Yilodim means that they were born later. No lodim means they were born already.
Yilodim.
There's yilodim and there's no lodim. Yilodim means that they were born after, and no lodim means they were born already before. And to see the brisa inside, to see the chart a second, that the Resha that says that is a chiyuv to do chalitza, there is a connection. Why is there a connection? According to Rish Lakish, it's chayiv karos, so there's no connection. The answer is he was born after this brother did kedushin. After the brother did kedushin, so then he comes into the picture. So then there is a zika. He doesn't see it as eish shachar shlo yibalam. We don't look at the history. We look at the matzav before. He should do. The question was thinking to Yibam. I didn't look into that, but there is a connection. But the second case where it says that the second brother's marriage is not worth anything, that's only if he was born before, that he was alive at the time. When he was born already before the chalitza. He was born when this brother died. He was born and he was born already. So therefore, it's eishach shelo balomo. So that's why it's nothing. The marriage is a nothing. If he would have been born after, so then it could be that he would have because if this brother then what? If he would have been born, then his kedushin would have been something.
Right. Because then he would be.
Because you don't look at the brother. You don't look at the brother that he didn't recognize, because he sees it after the chalitza already. That's what it seems to say. And now that was one teres how to reconcile the whole brisa according to Rish Lakish and Ravina. He's going to also reconcile the brisa by not using Rav Shimon. He's going to use Rabbanan that say it's always considered eisha achiv shel ha'yav. What's the case? So far, the ratio was good. The ratio was good according to Rabbi Yochanan, that if there was done a chalitza and then a kedushin, Rabbi Yochanan says that everything goes down to a lav, and therefore there is necessary to do chalitza because it's only a lav. Well, it's only a lav, so then there is necessary to do chalitza. The kasha was from the sefer. How come the marriage is nothing? The kid. That's the answer. He's going to say that the sefer where it says that the marriage is nothing, it's only somebody that was born afterwards. If he was born afterwards, then so then there's no connection. Then it's not a kedushin. Because that's a chayv krisos because of the not you're throwing in a new factor. Tell him we just spoke about the eishesach shalovim mitzvah. But if you talk about, just to put it on the screen, this case that it says in the brisa that the marriage is nothing, it's because this brother was born after the first brother died. And that's the regulation. According to Rabbanan, they don't care when he was born. If this one married her, the chalitza already, he doesn't care about all that. Because Rabbanan and Rav Shimon, they always say, if you didn't see him, if he wasn't in the same world, so it's always so therefore, that's the reason why it's not a marriage, because not like we thought till now. The Pashup Pshat doesn't say anything in the brisa about that he was born afterwards. That's all being inserted into the Pshat now. Till now we learned that the reason why the marriage is nothing is because it's a chalutza, because his brother died. Not everyone's ba'olam. They were born at the same time. Just did chalitza, everything goes down to pshat. This brother was born after. This brother was born after this brother died, and the reason why it's not a marriage is because according to the Rabbanan of Rabbi Shimon. And
Are we concerned about that brother on the left because of the original brother or the second brother? Because he was born after the second brother died. So are we?
this one was according to the Gemara's teretz now. He was born after this brother died,
Right,
and
so
that's the reason why his marriage is not a marriage because they should. Let's make a difference, right? Doesn't make a difference at all.
his marriage is not a marriage
Because it's this brother he never saw, and his wife is according to Rabbanan of Rabbi Shimon. According to Rabbi Shimon, we would matter was he born after the woman was already had relations with this man, relations or chalitza. That would be his world. He came into the world when she was chalitza from
He's
his
the brother of someone who did chalitza, so that's the problem.
That's how the Gemara thought, but now the Gemara is saying it's not the pshat. The pshat is because he's the brother of someone he never saw. He's the brother of Shalohi Balomo, and that's the reason why it's a chayiv kares, because there's regular story of Shalohi Balomo. It's a dochak in the Brisa. It's sticking in a new story, new fact that we didn't have.
I thought we're talking about when he was born later.
He was born later. No, we don't. No.
He
The
was born later.
Rabbanan don't care. The Rabbanan. This is always no. If he was born after this brother died,
Yeah.
then it says the Rabbanan don't care about when he came into the world what he saw.
No.
If when he came into the world he didn't see his first brother, it's
Yeah.
and therefore the reason why his marriage is nothing is because it's it's chayv kares. This relationship chayv kares because
Oh, just a rule. It has nothing to do with what his brother did.
yeah, nothing to do with that. According to this trial, it's nothing to do with this brother. You know his brother? That's it. That's the subject of the brisa. But they're sticking in a new fact in order to reconcile. Then, but the machlokes stays the same. We had a brisa reconcile according to everybody. Remains the machlokes between Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish, the way we learned it. The one who did chalitza, to the chalitza is only a lav, and the machlokes is the other brothers and the other tzaros is a kores or a lav. Rabbi Yochanan holds that it's only a lav. Rabbi Shlokish holds that it's kores.
All the brothers.
Right. Next Gemara, which is very similar, but a offshoot of what we said before. What if instead of chalitza, he married her? No, I'm sorry. Yes. Tell me, I'm sorry that I'm okay. Let's put it on the screen.
Sorry, 300,000.
Till now we spoke about. Let's say this case back before we said chalitza v'kitcha, that the brother died, one brother. He did chalitza, and then he married her.
Right, that was the one we did now.
What if he married her? And then he also took the co-wife. He married two wives. Not supposed to. Just supposed to marry one wife. Once there's yibum to one wife.
He did
yibum.
And then he did sort of another yibum.
Right, he did two yibums. You're not supposed to do two yibums.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to take one of them. So what do you say? Is that kores? For the other one, it's a brother's
Once he
wife
did
without a
yibum,
mitzvah.
She's free to go, and so I would think it was kores.
Because
Reish
you-
Lakish, it's kores.
Oh.
According to Reish Lakish, it's kores.
And according to
Rabbi
Yochanan,
Yochanan,
that's what the Gemara's going to say. He got it.
Very nice.
That the Gemara's going to say it's the same issue. The same way we say chalitza. Now what happens to everything else? Like this case over here. It's chalitza to one.
it becomes like a shliach to her.
Right. So the mama should say machlokes. Everyone's going to say the first point is that this one, the fact that he 1 second, maybe I said it wrong. If I said it wrong, I take it back. Let's see inside. I didn't see the Gemara. Shabbos Gemara is always more difficult. The ones that come on Shabbos. Okay. Here the Gemara starts. I didn't say it exactly right, but almost. He married one, and another one married another one. Not that he. I said the case was that he married both. Maybe it's also true, but here it says that he married. Okay, that was what I said. What I said is true. You have to be marked first that the one who married, and then one who took two of the wives. That the Gemara is going to say it's only an asay. It even goes down. It's not kores. Again, the same way we said that the one who did chalitza, that's a lot for sure, right? And then we went on to the rest of them. Here, it's the one who married her, the one who did yibum. If he takes another one of the wives, that's only an asay.
What does it mean?
It's only he transgressed the positive commandment. Before we talked about transgressing a negative commandment. That's if he would do chalitza and then marry her. But if he married one, then marries the second one, he does two yibums. So then it's called an asay. According to Rashi, Machlokes Rashi Tosfos, the way we have it in our Gemara, it's an asay.
What is the
Asay
asay?
is Right.
Not
Basically, one house. Build one house. Don't build two houses. Build one house for your brother. But since it says that in the positive, it says build a house of the brother. So it's called an asay. It's called a lava bomachlal asay. Even though it's saying don't do something, but it didn't say it in the negative. It said it in the positive. Build one house. So of course it means we could infer build one house means don't build two. But if he does build two, what did he transgress? That there was a positive commandment. Build one house. That's an asay.
And an assay is less than a dos assay.
It's less than a los assay.
In terms of the punishment.
It's punishable. Okay, whatever the punishment is, we'll leave it alone. Taisa has a different
It's
gears.
considered less chomor.
Less chomor, yes. Where's Rashi over here? And let's get the Rashi.
You put him for the first wife, he was supposed to do.
Yeah. The first thing he did was good, but then he shouldn't have taken the second one. Where is no Rashi? It says Beisachid. So
To build two houses.
what is that?
It's more expensive to build two houses.
He took two wives over here.
Is the Rashi ba'aseh?
Yes.
Ba'aseh.
Yes. This had a different gears and all. Someone that now the question is, but so that's the introduction. That the one who took two wives, he transgressed the mitzvah saseh. Now the question is, how about a brother? Now that's what Levi Yaakov kicks in over here. That for the brother, do you say that it's the same as the original one? Everyone's a shliach. One did yibum, he did fine, but then another brother decided to marry the other wife, another co-wife. One holds that the other brother, the brother who married the second wife, is kores, like any kind of a brother's wife without a mitzvah. And one says it's only transgressed in asay. And the Gemara says it's dependent on the machlokes of Rabbi Yochanan Shlokish. That even though the brother himself, the first one who married one wife, if he marries the second wife, it's only not safe. That's only. But the others that married the Rabbi Yochanan, and the one who says that essay says like Rabbi Yochanan that all the brothers, he's a shliach of all the brothers, and same way if he has an essay, for him it's also an essay. Adkan 2 dots. I put in the 2 dots. It wasn't over there.
Wait.
After Rabbi Yochanan. New sugya. I'll put a little. It's not a chashuv exam, but epis just to get a little visual aid. So as we go on, I try to make more ideas of how to make a diagram. So this woman over here, she's the sota. She said, but this is a little bit more than a sota. A sota means that we're not sure if she was mazana because she went in seclusion after she was warned, but this she was mamash mazana. She was mazana. She was a married woman that had a relationship with another man. She's mamash asa. She's asa to her husband.
So what we care about halacha?
So now he died. Again, there was 2 brothers. One of them had a wife. Yeah, 2 wives. One of them was mazana. So now when he dies, does she fall to yibum to the brother?
No way.
She doesn't not.
I mean, I don't know the reason, so I'm just guessing.
Isn't she like a dead person already?
Yeah, you want to.
She didn't die yet. She didn't die. But he's also he didn't give her a get. He's also to have a relation. If he gave her a get, there's no question about yibum. He didn't give her a get. He just died. And he's mechuyev to give her a get. She's also the way to say it. She's also then. And now. So now that doesn't have to do yibum.
Doesn't have to.
He can't, right? Okay. And now how about the?
Wait a minute. So we're saying like what?
Why can't?
Rabbi, because she's usher that he can't have relations with.
I don't remember the details of how come, but we'll see the sugya soon. But I think we're gonna learn out that it's called tuma. It's called her tuma. The fact that she was mazana, it's called her. And tuma is the same word used by Rayas. We give her a din of erva gabi this at least. I don't know if we'd be able to do it without a pasuk, but after the pasuk, we have a drasha to say that there's no yibum.
She's usher because she's
like an erva because she was mazana. She's like the Torah gives her a din of erva, and there's no yibum.
Okay. Yeah, but it's between her and her husband has passed away.
Yes, but now the brother doesn't fall to the brother. There's no yibum to the brother.
Maybe it's
the same way the brother was to her. No, she did it. His whole chiyuv is because his brother had a wife. But that wife that was mazana, so then he doesn't have the obligation of yibum turn. He's not allowed to. How about if there's another wife?
Because she's an Arab, because she's an Arab.
She's not really an Arab.
I know. That's what I
But
said.
yes, but the Torah gives her a dinner, but there's going to be a drasha in the Gemara. The Gemara is going to say the drasha that she's going to be us.
By sleep with a man, she became an Arab, didn't she?
He's us.
She's a chafetz of
But don't worry, so it's not going to be chayv. I don't think it's chayv. If the husband would have relations with her, even though he's not allowed to, it's not called chayv chorus. It's his wife. But she's us, but it doesn't make that it's chayv chorus, and that's not a reason not chayv to chorus him to him either. But now it's going to be chayv chorus because there's no yibum. There's no yibum. The Torah says there's no yibum on this system. How about the co-wife?
He should marry her. Why does he marry her?
Because if he's,
Is it an erva? No yibum to the co.
If it's
He should.
He should make Yibum.
He should. Moshe says no.
Oh, I think yes.
Because same way, if it would be the whole time.
She's nullified. The one in the middle is
Not nullified. She's like an erva. She's like an erva. It's 15 arayas. It's how is the patas also patas. Let's
I
see.
hear it, but it seems to be a different kind of case.
Let's try to see the Gemara. The word sota usually means that you're not sure, but here the Gemara is going to say soon that this is not only a sota that they don't know. A sota usually means it's a mamish mizan, but we'll see that in the Gemara. Amarav, Yud Amarav. So a sota asura, and the asura means not only asura, they don't do yibum. It even means it says the tzara. So not only the sota itself, even the tzara also. That the co-wife also doesn't marry the co-wife. Why? Tuma kseba karais, because the pasuk says by her, by a woman who's mazana, it calls her tuma, and the same word betum is used by arayis also. So we learn that has the din of arayis also.
So why the other one should need to be?
Also no yibum because like tzara serva, the same way that the first Mishnah says that lo rakar rayot gam kein sarata rayot. Whatever drasha is over there applies to this also. She's considered an erva, and the other wives also don't get yibum. No nothing. No yibum, no chalitza, no nothing.
What about the poor zera of the father, the original husband? If he loses a chance to bring his seed.
He has other problems also. He had a wife that was mazana, other problems. So this is a little background what happened over there. The Gemara has a kasha from a mission later on. Where is that? Peizayin, 87. So there it talks about such a kind of case. All these cases, you can't get emotional. You have to not get emotional about the case. It's just dry. Like don't get into all of the. It talks about where is the.
just the facts, man.
Just facts.
So here's a case.
Keep cool.
Here's a case that a man had two brothers. He had two brothers, and he had a wife.
Mhm.
He had a wife, but then she heard that he died. She heard that the husband. She heard that he died.
So she married.
She married somebody else,
Tony.
but then she found out that he's really alive.
Mhm.
So she's in big trouble. She was a Eishesish. Tetzemi says that she can't have. So the is that she, if they would have had the question over there later on, how many? If there were Eidim, 2 Eidim, who said that she died? Why did she think that he died? There's a case over there that we allow her to investigate, and we rely on her if she's going to investigate well. But we tell her that you're taking a risk. She investigates well, because if not, you're in big trouble. So here she investigated as much as she did, but she's in big trouble because the Maisa, after she got married, they find out that there was a original husband.
So now he's and she.
Everyone's us. She does it to both them, and she learned everything. They tried. There are a lot of ramifications of this.
Are you showing the other husband?
That's the other husband over here.
Oh, that's not a sota. That's the other husband.
He's the man, right? He's a man.
He's a
And
man,
she
right.
really might have been also, in all zigzagged over there, but she didn't mean it. Like, she was.
didn't mean it.
She didn't mean it, but she didn't. It
But
wasn't.
now
her
she's
fault.
usher to him, and
So now she does to everybody. And then it also says that both of them, I should have X'd out also. Both of them died.
both
Both of them died.
and they were married.
Now they have brothers. And they have no children. Does she have
It's
to?
like the sota.
So it's like the sota. Why is it like the, so? It should be like the sota because the Mashi, she was the Eishesish
Right.
that had relations with another man.
Right.
So
there's
she's a
two-
sota.
there's like a
And
two-
what should you say? That there's no yibum, no
there's no
nothing.
evil.
But it's now we learn. That's what we think. Now that's what we think it's going to say. And then we open it up, and what does it say? Rabbi Shimon Omer, bi'asa or chalitzasa me'achav shel bishon pater sarasa. That if one of the brothers of the original, she's really married to the original one, the first husband. The second one is no marriage. It says that if one of the brothers of the first one either had relations with either the yibum or chalitza, that's it. She's okay. But sarasa means that not only her, the tzara also. Where's the tzara over here?
I didn't see it, sir.
I didn't. I should have made it. Sorry, I should have made another wife over here. Another wife. That even if he has another wife,
Right.
so it says that if this one's brother be asa or chalitzasa shall rishon, he's the rishon, he's the sheni.
Mhm.
Then if the brother is miyabim her or chalitz, so then if there are any other wives, they're all free because it's a good yibum chalitza. It's
Oh, it's a good.
but it means that you need a chalitza. According to what Rav said before, it's nothing. There's no chalitza, no yibum. The kasha is that here it says there has to be a chalitza or yibum, and you said that she's an erva, she's a sota, and here she was mazana, right? She was mazana. Yesh Evdel. But the first kasha is good.
Before you take it out, that goes for the man on the bottom too.
What's a man? What do you mean a man on the bottom? What did he do? I mean, he shouldn't have
He's the
married him.
brother of the man who.
He's not, but he's not. No,
he's not really
no,
married.
he's not really married. This was the mistake. She's really married to him. They didn't know about it, but now we find out.
This is the brother, right?
This is the brother of the man who second
Who
husband.
mistakenly. thought
Right.
he
So
was
so
married.
he's that it says that his yibum was nothing because he's not really married.
Okay.
He's not. It's not really married. So that's the kasha. So what's the answer? Why is it different? So, what does it say here? The Gemara, Amalacha. Right. The Gemara makes it even a little stronger. The Gemara is going to say that even though she's really, you can call her like an onus because not only lo b'idiyah, she really didn't mean to do znus. She thought that her husband really died. She made a mistake.
She did investigate. Yeah.
She did, but she didn't do. So this is not as bad. She's really called an onus. Really, she's an onus that the fact that, but there's a chum over there, and it's less than doing it b'mezid. She didn't even do it b'shogeg. She really didn't mean to do it. Maybe it's called an onus, and that's why it's not a real. It's called a sota. That's why there is a necessity to do yibum or chalitza over there. You have to do something.
Can't do yibum, can't still do yibum, but that's.
It says if you did yibum, it takes effect. And chalitza, and I said by sota deraisa that she was mamish mazana. Here it's only sota derabanan. And Rashi explains because she really didn't mean to marry out of the marriage. She thought that her husband died, so it's not so bad, and therefore there is still a connection to the first husband, and the brother did the yibum. It takes effect.
What's this last step? I didn't get it. The deraisa and the rabbana.
That before we're talking about it, a real zona. She was mazana, and she's
I see.
asa.
And here
Here
it's
it's an onus because she didn't mean to marry out of the
okay.
marriage. The Moisakasha, it's Pasha the Teretz with the Korila, my Korila, the one who asked the question, what did he think? Skasava called the talking Rabbanan, came to the Raisa talk, and he thought that when the Rabbanan makes Rabbanans, they make it similar, the same template as the Raisa. So if I saw to the Raisa, there shouldn't be any yibum, any chalisa. So he should have said here also. He shouldn't have made that it takes effect. Avash Yama, Masa Avash Yenu Kasha. But this is a regular sota. Before I said that a sota usually means when I was not sure. There was that seclusion. She was warned. The husband suspected her of having relations with somebody. So he warned her, don't be in seclusion with her. And she didn't listen. And we have Aiden that she was secluded, but we don't know that she had relations. She said she didn't. She says that she only had seclusion. But that's called a sota. And she's not allowed to be together with her husband anymore until she drinks the Mayim Amorim. And that's going to verify if she's innocent or not. Over there it says, if she went into seclusion with the man that she was warned not to be with, and she stayed in the seclusion the time that he could have had relations, she's also to her husband. That's the din of a sota. She can't have, till she drinks the water, she can't stay with her husband. Also, if she's her husband's a Kohen, she can't eat truma anymore because the relation over there, we're not making her consider. And also in mace, so if she here says that she does need chalitza, if the husband died, the regular sota, a regular sota, that if the husband dies, she needs chalitza. She can't do yibum. That's for the brother, but she has to do chalitza. You said she doesn't need chalitza either. That's the kasha.
Is this an expansion of the previous case?
It's a kasha on Rab who said that there's no chalitza either. Nothing. She's arayas. Right. Good. That's the answer.
Like the other one, like the owner.
Good.
This
Yes.
is the same case as the woman who thought her husband died and he was alive.
No. This is she's a bad woman. The husband saw her hanging out with somebody. He said, "Don't be in seclusion with him." And then she didn't listen, and she went to seclusion. There, either that she's secluded. No, the husband's alive and well. He's screaming, red face. He's really angry, and he says, "Don't seclude." And she went into seclusion with him, and they're Adim. So she's a sota now, and now he died. And there's a brother, so she needs chalitza. She can't do yibum because she's a sota, but you do chalitza. Rab said there's no chalitza even. That's the kasha. I said if she mamash was mizana, not a sota, just maybe. But this is only a suffix. So by a suffix, a mashkim that needs chalitza. That's what you're saying. That if it's a sota vadai. So we have a case of a sota vadai, so that doesn't need chalitza even. That was Rab's chiddush, a sota suffix that needs chalitza and not yibum. And we had the case also about the woman that she didn't mean it, and she was quite honest. And over there it says that yibum or the chalitza will take effect. The Marsa Kasha, why do you say that it doesn't say tuma? If the whole reason why you said that there's no yibum is because it says the word tuma by znus, it also says tuma by sota, the whole parsha of sota. That's where it says tuma. The
היא
Tanya,
לא אוכלת תרומה, והיא כבר, היא לא אוכלת בתרומה.
but put the truma aside, just the din, does it say the word tuma? Does it say the word tuma? So the Gemara is going to say it says the word tuma. Where does it say the word tuma? The truth is it doesn't say the word tuma openly. It says tuma by Yisota Vada. Where does it want to find that by Yisota Suffolk it says the word tuma? That's the question. Where does it say the word tuma by Yisota Suffolk?
נטמעה ולא נטמעה.
But over there it's talking about what she metameh with, what she's neval, that she had relations. But we didn't see that the Sota Suffolk is called the word tameh. We have to look for that now. That's going to be the Gemara.
Maybe a chumrah because it's a deraisa, it could be a chumrah.
Do we find that the
Because
Torah
something
calls it
derives
tameh?
from
We're
the
looking for
Torah.
one thing. Does the Torah call it tameh? If the Torah calls it tameh, that was the drasha we said it's like an erva. If it doesn't say the word tameh, then you don't ever think that it's an erva.
But
Rav
she
said
stayed at the time that she can be tuma.
we're talking about, that's not the subject. The subject is if it calls her tameh. Here the Gemara started off. Rav, where's Rav? Itma. No, next one. Amar Rav Yud Amar Rav. So asura. Let's mark it off over here.
לא למטה, כניסה
No,
עם כל הסתר.
it's not. No, that's not. We're talking about for the word tumah. Tumah ksivla karayot. It says the word tumah in the Torah. It calls her tameh. That's what we're looking for. We're not talking about if she was there how long. That's not tumah. Does it say the word tameh? Rashi?
Doesn't say, is a place where it says tuma yikari, like the double side time?
No, that's not the pasuk we're looking for. No.
So it's Saira.
Where's the Gemara say tumah? Sota daraisa. Where's the pasuk?
Is it that one down there?
Al titamu b'chalela. That's by Arias, and here it says v'nista Rabbi hinetma. But that's talking about that she had relations. She was a vada. But where do you find that a sota suffix is called tameh? That's what the Gemara is talking about now. The Gemara wants to know. You know that a woman who was mazana, we know that she's called tameh. But do you see a woman who has seclusion, and we don't know if she had relations? She just was seclusion. Is that also called tameh? So the Gemara is going to say yes. That's the Gemara's conscious, but it's going to be a drash, not going to be pashup shot.
She's a sort of her husband.
Yes, but she also her husband, is she called tameh? Don't. It's a new chiddush here. If she's called tameh, then it has a din of erva. The Tanya, Yosef Kippur Omer. So here goes to the din that a person after he divorces his wife, if she marries another man, she can't go back. Can't go back. Then the pasuk says that so it says lo yuchal b'Allah rishon ashesh lachol lakach achriya shehu tamoa. Very not the pasuk shot. The pasuk over there says that after she had relations with another man, she can't go back. She can't go back to the first husband because she was defiled. Too much. She wasn't defiled. She married somebody. Everything was kosher. She got a get from the first husband. She married another husband. But the pasuk said you can't go back. After Rashi brings the pasuk, maybe I don't know.
No, it's in the Gemara.
It's only those words. So it's really not tummy over there. It just means that she had relations with another. As far as the first husband is called that she was defiled. The fact that she got married to somebody else, as far as he's concerned, she's defiled from him. But the pasuk calls it hutama. And the pasuk shot is talking about Marzik Rishasa. It's talking about somebody that takes back. He shouldn't take back his wife after she married somebody else. But here, let's we'll learn a little bit about that. If the second husband, she mamish had nisuin, there's two stages of marriage. One is kedushin, call it erusin kedushin. That means he gives her a ring. That's called kedushin, and she's a eshesish. But then there's nisuin, when they actually come together, live together. That's called nisuin. So he says, if she had nisuin with the second husband, then she can't go back to the first husband. But if she only had erusin with the second husband, which the erusin is not what they call today erusin. Mamish made a big problem. In modern Hebrew, they call shidduch. They call it erusin. That's nothing. Erusin means that actual kedushin, that he gave her a ring. He gave her kesef. So if the second marriage was only erusin, it didn't go into nisuin, so she's allowed to go back to the first husband. She was married to the first husband. She got a get. She had erusin with the second husband, but then she got a get from him, and she wants to go back to the first husband. So then
they didn't have yichud.
Right, but yichud relationships. So then she's allowed to go back to the first husband. How come? As Yosef Kippur says that that it's only also to go back to the first husband after she was defiled by the second husband. That means that he had relations. If he didn't have relations, just gave her. It's not called that she was defiled. So according to him, the pasuk is talking about Machzik Rishas, and nothing to do with the parsha of Sota. You don't see anything about the word Hutama meaning Sota. But Chachamim Omrim, that's what we want. Chachamim Omrim achazu v'achazu asura. That is no. If once she had erusin with the second husband, also she cannot go back to the first husband. It says achrei usha utama. No, it doesn't mean that. Elamani mekayim achrei utama. What does this pasuk mean? That it's called something about tuma. The Rabo Sota Shenistero. That's what they say. That it's a drash. Of course, it's a drash. Not talking about the pasuk shad. Over there, it's talking about Machzik Rishasa. But here he's saying that it's talking about that to be marba, that a sota, every sota shenistero, she has seclusion. That's called tameh. That's called tameh. So what does the Gemara want? Why are you telling me that a suffix sota is not called tameh? a suffix sota is called tamei. That's what the Rabbanan say. Rabbi Yosef ben Kippur says that. He says everything is about machzik gushasa. But the Rabbanan say that this pasuk of Achrei Yoshev Tamah in the drash world is talking about a sota shenistera. That means a sota that has seclusion, even if we don't know if she had relationships. So it says the word tamei. If it says the word tamei, so before he said if it says the word tamei, it's like an erva. So the din should be there's no chalitza or yibum either. If he died, the husband died. So that's the kasha. The answer is take out the vav. I tried to block out the vav. The vav is a mistake. And you have my or umay. So take it out. I'm sure that it's supposed to be corrected, but I didn't check in the Girsos on Shabbos. But I think that it should be for sure my. The answer is my nistera nivala. The Bryce over there that says that Tama Sota Shenistera, it doesn't mean Shenistera. It means that she had relations with Mamash of a Sota Bada, that she Mamash was Mazana, not that only seclusion.
My nistera means what does it mean?
What is the word here? You're right. Here it says Sota Shenistera. Right. It means that she Mamash had relations.
That's the end of the breast.
I'm confused. There's two words, Nistra and Nevada. Which one is she?
No, here, you see the word here, and this is what the Bryce says. The Bryce says the Rabbi Sota Shenistera. So it seems to say that the Bryce seems to say, let me just make it a little bit more. Here it says,
where was the end of the breast?
Here's the end of the Bryce.
I see, that's the end.
Mani Makayim Achmei Utama, the Rabbi Sota Shenistera. To the word Utama, the Bryce says that this Utama is talking about a Sota Shenistera. That means that Shenistera means there was seclusion. We don't know that she was Mazana. So you see, she's called Tamei. If she's called Tamei, it goes back to the kasha that there's no Yibum, there's no Chalitza, nothing. That's called like an erva. There's nothing at all, no Chalitza. And it says here that a Sota Shenistera does need the Chalitza. That was the kasha. The answer is, the Bryce doesn't mean that. When it says L'Rabba Sota Shenistera, it means L'Rabba Sota Shenivala. This word, my Nistera, what does the word Nistera mean? Nivala. So why does it say Nistera? It should say Nivala.
Yes.
Am I Karola Nistera? Lishna Mal Yanaka, the rest wants to speak clean language. So instead of saying Beferish Nivala, it says Nistera, but it means that we know that she had. So the Gemara says, in Tuma Nivala, Tuma B'Hadik Siba, V'Nistera V'Hinitma. We don't need a pasuk for that to say that a woman who had relations with a married woman had relations with somebody is called Tamei. That's the pasuk says openly that if she had seclusion and she had relations, that's called Vinitma. That's what we use the whole time. That the word Tamei is by Sota Vadai. You don't need a pasuk again to say that you don't need a fancy drasha. Achrei Tama is talking about it. It says openly. What?
It says Nakit Nivla on Tuma.
Nivala, Tuma B'Hadik Siva. It says open. Where does it say? This pasuk, that pasuk says that the word nitma over there is talking about when she had relations. So you don't need a pasuk in Machzik Gushasa with a drash, a fancy drash to say that it means Nivala Tamei. That says openly. The Gemara says Lamekim Alav Alav to say that it's a losa say to have relations. The husband is not allowed to have. It doesn't say beferish that we really have a drash to say that he's not allowed to have relations with her after a woman is mezana. She was mezana. We know she was mezana. How do you know that the husband's not allowed to have relations with her? That it's us of him to have relations because it says lo yuchal ba'ala rishon. Of course, it's a drash. The Pashas is talking about machzik gushasa, but in the drash that it says that once a woman was defiled by a strange man, not because the Pashas in the pasuk where she got divorced and married somebody else. She didn't get divorced, and she was mezana. So you have to have a pasuk to say that the husband is not allowed to have relations with her if she was mezana. So there's two more lines over here, but I just didn't get it. So we can stop over here. And to be continued, Rabbi Yossi, there's two more lines. Really, I should go two more lines, but I didn't get these two lines. So we'll continue tomorrow.
What are we doing tomorrow? Is really going to do?
Yeah. So so we'll just close the recording over here. Hope everybody enjoyed it today. And okay. So